Cool. What do we have today? Some hip stuff, some back bendy stuff, just kind of counterbalancing my shoveling. I'm still feeling. So we'll start in child's pose. When you're ready for that, we'll come to our shins, big toes touch, knees open nice and wide, and then we'll lower our chest towards the ground as much as it can make it. Maybe your head comes to the earth, your chin or your forehead, maybe it's hovering off the ground. Trying to let your hips relax back towards your heels, letting your fingertips inch farther away from you. Maybe pressing actively into your palms to send your hips back closer to your heels, or being a little bit more passive as we start moving. Just letting gravity weight your pelvis down to the ground. Trying to bring your attention to your body, forgetting about what just happened or what's going to happen in an hour, just focusing on where we are right now, how our body is moving in space. If that's too woo-woo, we can just pay attention to our breath, and that's an easy way to focus on our body, just thinking about air coming in and coming out of our lungs. We're going to come to a threaded needle in child's pose. So I'm going to walk my palms a little bit closer so I can lift my torso off the ground. And it'll be a gentle thread the needle. So our right hand is going to slide underneath our left arm until our right shoulder can come to the ground. Maybe the right side of your head does. Trying to sit our butt back towards our heels still in our thread needle child's pose variation. Pressing into our left palm, we'll pull the right arm out from underneath us. It'll find the ground. And then our left arm, opposite side, thread the needle, facing the other direction, lower down. Again, sinking our pelvis towards the ground behind us, letting our head relax towards the earth. Pressing into our right palm, we'll pull our left hand out from underneath us, and then we're going to come to tabletop, all fours, so we can gather our knees underneath our hip sockets, our palms underneath our shoulders, our fingertips spread nice and wide here. Cat-cow time, which means we drop our belly, gaze up towards the sky, and then reversing that, we'll arch our back, gazing back towards our pelvis, back and forth a handful of times here. Just letting our spine bend and flex, arch both directions. Coming to stillness, flat back. We're gonna rock our weight around in a circle on our wrists. So just spinning your weight towards your fingertips, towards the left side and the base of your hand, the right side. Not a wrong way to do this. Spin the opposite direction if that makes sense to you. And then coming to stillness, we're going to try to do some shoulder shrugs here. So we'll shrug our shoulders up towards our ears, down our backs. We're going to end up making some circles with our shoulders. Maybe thinking about being like a locomotion train. I don't know what this is. Wiggling our shoulders around in space, pushing into the ground. Cool. All right, we can leave that. Neutral tabletop. We're going to pick up our right leg, send it out behind us, and then our right toes are going to find the earth. We'll push back through that right heel till we find a stretch in our right calf. Maybe rocking back and forth a little on that right foot if that feels good, or just having stillness there. And then we'll pick up that right knee, and we're going to make some circles with that right knee in space. Spinning it around in one direction, whatever kind of circle fits to the side of your table, and switch the direction. Great. Then our right leg's going to go out straight behind us, and it's going to find the ground ground outside our left heel. We'll look over our left shoulder at that right heel. Yeah. A squeeze on the left side body, little side bend. Then we'll pick up that right leg, and this time we're spinning it all the way over to the right side, twister today. So we have our right leg sticking out straight to the right side, weights on our left knee. We're gonna try walking our hands over to the left side of our space. Left palm stays planted in the ground. The right arm's gonna reach up to the sky. Maybe the right fingertips reach up over your head towards the wall at the left side of your space. Pushing into our left palm, finding some space in our shoulders and our neck. Yeah, cool. Both hands to the ground. We'll walk our hands back forward till we're in our three-legged table, keeping that right leg out to the side. We're coming back to child's pose with our right leg extended. So our butt's gonna sit back towards our heels, and we're gonna let our chest come down towards the ground any amount. Maybe your head doesn't come as low as it did with both legs in. I'm feeling a stretch on the inside of the extended right leg here. So good. All right, we're gonna walk ourselves back up to tabletop. So that right leg sneaks in however you can get it underneath you. Back to our knees, under our hips, palms underneath our shoulders, cat-cowing again. So belly down, gaze up, and then doming our back, gazing towards our navel, back and forth. So good. All right, we're finding stillness here. We'll pick up our left leg this time. Our left toes are gonna find the ground behind us. Push our left heel back to get that stretch in the left calf. Maybe wiggle back and forth a few times or find stillness here. And then picking up that left knee, we'll draw some circles in the air with our left knee, kind of wild fire hydrants. Maybe switch directions. And then left foot extends back behind us again. This time the left foot goes outside the right foot. We look over our right shoulder at it. Right side bend, squeezing our right rib cage together. Picking up our left leg, it'll swing all the way behind us, around out to the left side of our space. Once we've found ourselves in our three-legged table with our left leg out to the left side, we'll walk our hands over to the right side of our space, any amount, and then our left fingertips are going up towards the ceiling, and maybe up over our head towards the wall at the right side of our space. And then hands meet together on the ground, walking palm over palm back to our regular three-legged dog, left leg, or three-legged table. You know where we are. Our butt's gonna sit back down any amount, coming to a child's pose with our left leg sticking out to the side. Great. All right, coming back up to tabletop, we'll pull that left leg in underneath us, all fours. This time we'll go side to side with our cat-cow instead of floor to ceiling. So squeezing left hips and left shoulders together, right hips and right shoulders back and forth a few times. So good. All right, from here we're gonna come to belly down, however you wanna get there. I'm just gonna flop onto my tummy, works for me. We're gonna do a couple shoulder openers here. So from belly down, our right arm's gonna stick straight out to the right side of our space like a T. And then we're gonna roll over onto our right side as far as is comfortable. Perhaps your top leg wants to stack on top of your bottom leg, or maybe that left leg falls behind you. If your head is dangling, you could try to release it to the ground. You could try to stuff anything nearby underneath it for a little support if that feels good. We'll be here for a little bit, so try to find a place that you can hold comfortably or semi-comfortably. Okay, athletes, we can roll back onto our belly. We'll pull that extended right arm underneath us for Sphinx pose. So we're bringing our forearms to parallel on the earth, our elbows underneath our shoulders. We can try to roll our shoulders back down our back to grow a little bit taller in between sides. If this is unpleasant in your low back, we can definitely come a little closer to the earth here. For just a breath, and then we'll head on over to the opposite side. So we'll lower down, and this time our left arm's gonna go out straight like a T, rolling on over to our left side body. Maybe that right leg spills behind you or stays in front of you. Okay, stretchers, we'll roll back onto our belly. We'll come to Sphinx pose again, gathering our forearms parallel underneath us. Thinking about sliding our legs parallel behind us too if they've gotten a little splayed. Pushing into our elbows, growing long through our spine. Lots of space for big, long, dangly earrings between our ears and our shoulders here. Maybe a little pelvic tilt into the earth to relieve any other back pressure you might have. Lovely. All right, friends, we're going to do that same thing, only with a little bit of a twist. So this time, instead of our right arm going straight out like a T, it's going to have a 90-degree bend in the elbow. So our upper arm is still straight out to the side, but then we've got a bend at the elbow and our fingertips are pointing up like a goalpost or a cactus, or whatever that means to you. From then we'll roll on over to our right side. You might find you don't go quite as far with this added hitch in your giddy up. I don't know what that means. Just a slightly different tug of a stretch here. So figuring out where we can be for another nice long hold, giving us time to release into the stretch. Okay, friends, we'll roll back onto our belly. Sphinx pose again between sides, or option to come to a seal variation, which would mean pushing into our palms till our elbows come off the earth. Arms can come to straight or not quite. If you've got a super flexy back, you could walk your hands in closer. Lovely. And then lowering down to our tummy again. We'll do the left side with that goalpost arm. So finding the upper arm straight out like a T, 90-degree bend in the elbow. Rolling over to our left side body. Letting gravity do the work here, letting our head hang heavy. Okay, we're gonna roll back onto our belly. Gather our legs together behind us, our palms underneath our shoulders, pushing into our hands. We're gonna come to child's pose. So you could have a knees together child's pose this time, or a nice wide knee child's pose, whatever works for you. Coming up to tabletop, we're gonna sit on our butt. So however you wanna bring your legs out in front of you works for me. We can flap over to one side or the other. Coming to staff pose, so our legs are extended long in front of us. I like to pull the fleshy bit of my butt out of the way. So sit up nice and tall here, finding your long spine, and then letting gravity do the work. We're gonna do a gentle forward fold over our extended legs. Rolling our torso up to upright, we'll come to seated. We're gonna take this right knee and bend it, right sole of the foot on the earth by our left knee. There we go. We're gonna take our right knee and give it a hug with our left arm, looking over our right shoulder. And then coming back to forward, we'll take this right leg and open it up, right knee out to the side. Sitting upright, we're gonna try to fold forward between our knees, so over our right heel, if that makes sense. Julie, I didn't give you my disclaimer. I say right and left a whole ton and I don't mirror you, so hopefully you figured it out. Great. As long as you get both sides at some point, we're fine. Bringing our torso back up to seated upright. We've got our left leg extended long, so we're gonna grab that leg and bring it in. We're gonna grab our left shin and we're just gonna kind of wiggle it around like it's a little baby. So however you can hold, maybe you're holding your left foot and your left knee or your shin, just wiggling around the top of the femur and the hip socket. in a way that we don't always get it to move. Nice work. Then we're gonna make a pinwheel. So we're taking this left leg and sending the left foot behind us. Once we get there, we're gonna try for 90 degrees in our knees and our hips. Yeah, wait, there we are. So I find that my pelvis doesn't quite sit on the earth here, so we're gonna kind of rock around on our pelvis, maybe in a circular action or a back and forth, just figuring out how bodies work. Yes. Then we'll take our right hand, put it on the ground outside of our right butt cheek, and do some nice big circles with our left arm in the air. Yeah. We want to push actively into our right hand. We could even lift our hips off the earth for some sort of modern dance move, back bendy arm stretch I like here. All right, if your butt's in the air, our butts are coming back down to the ground. Our left hand's gonna come to the ground by the right hand, so they're both outside our right thigh. Then we're gonna walk our hands away from us until we can lower down in a twisted position. Little spinal twist, little forward fold to the side, some hip action. Gently using your arms, we'll walk our torso up to upright. Spin it back to forward. We gotta get this left leg that's behind us. So we're gonna pick up that left leg, swing it back in front, and we're gonna come to double pigeon. So one option would be just cross-legged with your left leg on top. That's a fine choice. Double pigeon, we've got our shins parallel stacked pretty evenly so that your top heel is just outside your knee. Depending on how your hips work, that might not be attainable. And I have bad contrast on my screen, so I just look like a black blob. But cross-legged with the left leg on top in any way is a fine choice here. Finding some length in our spine. Maybe this is enough of a stretch in our pelvis so we can stay here, or you could try to weight yourself forward, maybe pressing a little bit into your shins in a forward fold or a longer fold here. Yeah. plates, up to upright we get. My hands are supporting me behind me as I uncross my legs. Then I'm gonna have soles of the feet on the earth, knees up to the sky. And I'm just gonna windshield wiper my knees side to side a little bit here, as much as I can. Then stillness with our legs. I'm gonna squeeze my shoulder blades together behind me, looking up at the ceiling, little back bend here. And then the counter pose of that, I'll sit upright and I'll grab my knees and do a forward fold, rounding my back as much as possible, squeezing over my knees. Great. From here, let's see if I remember all that on the other side. The right leg extends long. The left knee is up towards the sky. We're gonna hug that left knee with our right arm, looking over our left shoulder. And then twisting back to forward, our left knee is gonna open up, and we're coming to a forward fold between our knees. So over our left heel is where we're headed, yes. Walking our torso back up to upright. Let's take this extended right leg, gather it in, holding our right shin. We're gonna spin this right leg back and forth. Give it a little rock in place. Finding some range of motion in there. And then taking that right leg, spinning it all the way behind us. Yeah. Setting ourselves up so we've got 90 degrees in our knees and our pelvis. So much dog hair on my life. Okay. And rocking our pelvis back and forth here. Yeah, finding, I don't know, your inner hobby horse or whatever this is. Yeah. Our left hand can find the ground outside our left hip. We'll get some nice big arm circles with our right side. Maybe pushing into the left hand to have your right hips off the earth, even if you like that kind of thing. If your butt's in the air, it'll come back to the ground. Your right hand will find the ground by your left hand. We'll walk both hands away from our left hip to come to fallen deer, it's called. Ugh. hands to walk our torso up to upright. We'll spin ourselves back to facing forward. We'll find our back right leg, swing it around, stacking our shins, maybe just in a regular cross-legged position or in our double pigeon, which again was shins parallel to each other, top heel just outside that left bottom knee. Oof, wherever you are, either sitting upright if that's your stretch or folding forward. Coming to upright, nice and slow. Prop yourselves up with your hands behind you. Uncross your legs, soles of the feet on the earth. We'll send those knees side to side, kind of wiggling out our spine. Coming to stillness, squeezing shoulder blades together behind us, arching our back, looking up towards the ceiling. And then rounding our back, walking our hands forward to grab our knees or shins. Forward, rounding here. Lovely. And then leaving that, we'll come to upright with our feet on the earth, knees towards the sky. Our right hand is going to swim behind us until the right back of the hand is on your spine somewhere. Maybe up by your shoulder blades, maybe not quite. And from there, we're going to lay back down on our right arm. So you can certainly get up and back in if you found yourself in a weird spot or you need to take your Apple Watch off. If laying on your arm is just the worst, we can do this upright, just holding our arm in position, and that will still be a shoulder opener. Otherwise, we're gonna lay on it, letting the weight of your body tug on that rotator cuff. So gently, we're going to roll just a tiny little bit to our left side so we can pull our right arm out from underneath us and then flop back onto our back. For a little moment of stillness here, letting the blood return to your right fingertips. Maybe a little wiggle in those right fingers, or kind of that inflatable car salesman arm action can help the blood flow, or stillness is always great. Up next, we're gonna just hop on into the other side. So maybe you wanna roll over to one side to get yourself up, or hug your knees into your chest and cannonball up to upright. Then we'll take our left arm this time. Left back of the hand finds the space between our shoulder blades. Laying back down on our left arm. We're usually not very symmetrical in things like our shoulders. So if this side is way different than the other, that's great. If this side needs to be upright instead of on the ground with a strap, we're just with our head, our heart thinking about moving that elbow behind us. Those are fine choices. Rolling ever so gently to our right side so our left arm can flop out from underneath us. We'll lay down on our backs for the rest of class, in fact. So once we've gotten a little bit of blood flow back in that left hand, we can gather our knees into our chest, maybe hugging our knees or shins, and rock gently side to side here. Reach both our arms up in the space between our knees. We'll grab our shins or our ankles or our feet for happy baby, rocking side to side, pulling our knees towards our armpits, soles of the feet towards the sky. And then back to that cannonball shape, knees together, rocking side to side a few times here. But next time our knees have fallen over to the left side of our space, we'll let them fall all the way there, and we'll gaze over our right shoulder for a spinal twist on the ground. Looking back up towards the ceiling, we'll bring our knees back in towards our chest, and the knees will fall over to the right side of our space, looking over our left shoulder. Gazing back up towards the ceiling, hugging our knees into our chest one last time. We've got our little rest coming up, so we can extend our legs long, lying flat on our back. Tuck shoulder blades together underneath us, backs of the hands on the floor by your hips. Or whatever Shavasana variation is for you if you want your feet on the ground, if you like laying on your side or even your belly. Those are all fine choices. We're just finding a pose we can hold for about a minute without trying hard at all. Just letting our body have some stillness to recover from the longer holds and the stretches we've done today. Bringing movement back to our body by wiggling our fingers and our toes. Maybe our head nods side to side. Deepen our inhales and exhales to feel our rib cage expand and contract. Slowly, gently, as you're ready, rolling on over to one side of your body, curling up in a fetal position. For another slow inhale and exhale. Gently, using the strength of your arms, we'll push ourselves up to upright for the end of class. Thanks so much for stretching with me. Colette will be back next Monday. Thursday, we will have stretching on New Year's Eve, but we're gonna do 108 sun salutes in a row instead of stretching, because that's what I wanna do. So it's a weird challenge.